Hey guys, Tom once again for another episode of Day in the Life of Vintage Classic Specialist. So here we are on a Tuesday and we are already past the middle of September. Amazing how fast this year is going by. I don't know about you guys, but for me this has got to be one of the fastest years I ever remember. Anyway, enough of that. So today the gorgeous 59 Deluxe Bus got the rest of its skylight windows. So those of you that follow the channel may remember that all but 3 of them went in previously, and those 3 were just fighting us and weren't really going in. So we fought back today and got them in. So basically what Rafa ended up doing was he ended up trimming the seals themselves a little bit. So the edge of the seal that seals against the body, so like underneath here where you can't really see, but where it fits against the flange of the body inside there, that's what he trimmed. And I mean, he took off like maybe a millimeter or so of that area, like all the way around it on all 3 of those. So major pain in the ass. Pretty much you just go in with like a razor blade and you start kind of like shaving that surface off. And but yeah, I mean, that's pretty much what it needed on those 3. So you can see on this side, the one that we just did today is pretty obvious because it's the clean one. And then likewise on this side, that one and that one. So anyway, yeah, those 3 went in finally. What a pain in the ass. But yeah, this bus now has all windows. So that's pretty cool. What else? So that was what happened today on this bus. Tomorrow should be a pretty big day for this bus because I'm getting a 6-volt battery for it, and also for the 64. These 2 guys are going to get batteries tomorrow, which means that we'll probably start testing electrical and maybe even fire one of them up. I don't know that we're quite there with either of these, but at least start testing electrical. And you know, there's always a little debugging that needs to happen on freshly wired cars. You know, hopefully not much. Usually we're pretty much work right off the bat, but you know, you forget a ground here and there or something maybe, and a little troubleshooting, and then next thing you know, everything's working. So yeah, we'll see. But yeah, both of these guys are getting their 6-volt batteries tomorrow. And so as far as this one's concerned, the Beetle, Rafa got a little bit done on this one today as well. He put in the sound mats on the back quarter panel, so that one on that side, and then likewise the one on this side. Those went in, and he finished the one door. I think it was the, I don't remember. I think it was the driver's side door window that he finished, which had not been finished previously. And both doors, although it's hard to see from there, but let me open this side up here if I can. One-handed. It's always hard to do things with one hand while holding a cell phone. There we go. So these doors got their plastic film installed on them. There you go. So the purpose of that, in case anyone's wondering, is that if any water, say it's raining or you're washing the car, if any water should make it past the scrapers, it runs down through the door and it doesn't actually get onto the door panel and discolor your interior panel. So the plastic sheet on there just deflects that and makes sure that water makes it down to the bottom of the door where there's little drain holes along there. So that's what that does. Most cars don't have this on, but we always put it on. Anyway, so yeah, those things happened today. And yeah, I think those were kind of the main things that happened on this car today. And then likewise on this one, those windows went in. So that was it for those beauties. For me, I don't know what I did today. It was just another one of those days where every time I went to do something, I just got kind of thwarted in one way or another. On this bus, I'm trying to get ready to install the dash. And so what I did was I started looking into all the pieces that are needed to install the fresh air system and the heater system and all that stuff, and going through and just gathering up parts and so on, trying to figure out what we're missing. These things are super complicated under here, unlike earlier buses. And so I am not an expert on bay window buses, so I'm actually going to have Brian Roth. Those of you that are regulars around here have heard me mention Brian before. Brian's done a bunch of bay windows. So I'm actually going to have him come over in the morning for a little while and help me out, figure out what pieces I'm missing and so on and so forth, so I can at least make sure I have everything. I have a vague idea of what parts I'm missing, but I'd rather have somebody who's done a lot of bay windows come and kind of be like, oh, you need to have, you know, this piece and that piece and whatever, so I'm not, you know, kind of scratching my head or having to spend a lot of time on the internet researching how these things go, because again, they're complicated. There is a lot of pieces under there, and I know 100% certain that I don't have all of them. So again, rather have somebody who's done a lot of these look at it, who can very efficiently tell me what I'm missing and kind of point me in the right direction. Because yeah, the dash in this thing, once that goes in, or you know, once the fresh air system goes in and then the dash, then I can get back on the wiring, and this thing's going to start coming along pretty quick. I know it's been kind of sitting here without a lot happening for a while, but once the dash goes in, then this thing's actually going to start coming together pretty quick. So the other thing is I started looking into is this bus is going to be fuel injected, and so I started looking into getting the in-tank fuel pump, which is going to come from AJ over at Low Bucket. I was actually going to install that today, but I called him and he didn't happen to have one in stock. So I'm hoping to actually get the in-tank fuel pump tomorrow, and then I'll probably go ahead and install it in the tank. And so that'll be some progress. Other than that, for me on the buggy, those of you that saw yesterday's episode know the rear bumper cage, I was pretty much welded, like literally I think 32 holes closed on that bumper cage, and spent a good part of the morning grinding those welds down and getting the bumper cage ready for powder coating. And then likewise, I took that massive steel skid plate and did some welding on it. There's basically, the way it mounts is up underneath the chassis, about underneath where I'm pointing my finger right now. There's pretty much a hinge on the front of that skid plate that mounts up underneath the chassis. And so what that does is, when you unbolt the skid plate from the back, it lets the skid plate kind of like hinge down like that, so you can access the bottom of the motor. But anyway, that hinge, again, which goes up underneath there, it had just a crap ton of holes in it. I just welded them all closed. We'll put new holes in it when we're ready. But again, since we're going to get everything powder coated, wanted to just start with kind of a clean slate here. So welded and filled all the holes in the hinge on the skid plate, and then again on the bumper cage back there, and then took all those off to powder coating. And this one here, I actually finally took its engine tin over to powder coating, kind of get that process going. And those of you that are regulars may remember me mentioning that this one, the engine tin, is going to have kind of an interesting surprise on it. I'll leave it kind of vague for now, but you guys will see. Anyway, that's it for today, guys. So hope you all enjoyed this, and we'll see you again soon. Bye.